That's messed up. Hey guys. Welcome to the CRowesNest podcast. It's my honor, actually, to have Rob Largent here. Before we get started, though, we'll do a quick introduction. Carlton Rowe, black belt under Pedro Sauer, via Keith Owen, rest in peace. I've been doing jiu-jitsu now for just over 19 years. Opened this place here that we're currently setting in 2007. Rob, well, I'll let him introduce himself, and then we'll get into kind of the backstory.
Oh boy. Rob Largent. Been doing this for, what did we talk about today? About 11, 12 years?
Yeah.
Purple belt under you.
Yeah.
So, been at it a while.
Been a long time. So, yeah, for those that don't know, like I just said, I opened in 2007. We started working together 2010.
Sounds about right.
You were in the middle, you were already training.
Kind of.
So why don't you give us kind of, and for those that don't know that you train with now, kind of give us a brief overview of what that was like.
Yeah. So, I won't name any names.
Nope. We're good.
I was at a gym, and it was judo-based. Well, it was supposed to be jiu-jitsu, but it was primarily just judo. Did it for about 6 months, got my orange belt, quotations. And by the end of my 6 months, I was like, man, I don't feel like I could handle myself at all if I ever got into a street fight. I'd be in some serious trouble. That didn't sit well with me. So then you started at work and heard you had a gym, so I was like, hey, let's figure this out.
And the funny thing was like when we first met, so I don't, like any time that I had a job, I don't go there telling people that this is what I do. Other people knew, and they actually told me that you were training too. Like they were like, oh, this guy trains too. And we talked about it a little bit. And I had actually recruited you.
Yeah.
And I'm not making fun of you because I have in the past for this.
And you can.
And you were like, well, I appreciate it, but I'm kind of in the middle of something. And you said something that I often use now, so I can't make fun of you for it as much as I used to. But you said I'm in the middle of a journey right now, and I kind of want to see where it goes. And I remember thinking to myself, who is this douche? Like, what is going on with this guy?
Hopefully, you son of a
Like,
bitch.
like what in the world? But now, like, because my journey was so long,
Yeah.
that now, like, I can't use that word. I can't make fun of you for that word because I often use it in my own. So.
And it's like a coined term now.
It is.
Everybody uses it,
It
which
is.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'd like to take credit for that.
You
It's not
pretty
an
much
idiot.
started a trend, dude. So just to make sure, because I don't know how the audio is coming through because I'm not wearing the headphones, but just to make sure, I just want to, this shouldn't make you uncomfortable. There we go. That might be a little bit better. So hopefully that wasn't as awkward on film as it was between Rob and I. Hey, not sponsored.
Yeah.
But Rob brought us some drinks for the podcast. This is Voodoo Ranger Tropic Force. This isn't bad.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
The first bite was like, what the hell is that about? But that's not.
Just wait. You got about 50 pounds on me, and I can only have 2 of these.
That might give me a nap later. But no, honestly, we've been together for a long time.
It's been a long time, long journey.
A lot of versions of the gym that we call home.
Yep.
We've went through a lot of different phases and periods, and the student body has completely rolled itself over and turned itself inside out.
Do you remember when you had equipment in here?
Yeah, half of it used to be filled with equipment, half of it was mat, then it went to half cage, half equipment.
Half room?
Half room, we had walls up. The amount of versions of this place that we've had is nothing less than comical. I would say impressive, but I look back on those days, and for the people that come to class, they know how I feel about those days and how remarkably close I was to closing this place down.
Yeah, I would almost use the term unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary it was.
Yes. So that takes us to the subject of the old days.
Oh, yeah.
And with you being around for as long as you have, you remember the old days. So why don't you give us your version of how those days were?
Oof. So the old days, man, survival is the only word I can use.
That's a good way. Good way to put it.
Every practice was like, I had one song I had to listen to every time I came there, and I had to talk myself into pulling it in. It was it was just survival is all it was. Every day was a fucking fight to the death.
Do you think that's productive?
Not at all. It was awful. I dreaded it every day.
Yeah, for not just unproductive physically, but unproductive probably mentally as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing because, every day I'd come in and you hear the adage of sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail.
Yeah.
And more often than not, you were the nail there.
Right.
And to constantly be the nail, just getting your ass beat,
Yeah.
and then still showing up, that's rough. It
So
was
you
rough.
you cut your teeth during a really, really bad period of this gym's existence. You also you dabbled in the cage a little bit.
I did.
Like
I did.
You did some cage fighting. You've done some grappling matches.
Yep.
You really have a pretty rich history as a purple belt.
I guess.
You know,
I wouldn't say that. But
There's a lot of purple, brown, black that never played in the cage.
Yeah.
So as a purple belt that has the experience of cage fighting, has the experience of grappling matches, you have a very competitive background. Do you miss any of that?
I often wonder how I would hold up nowadays. And I remember as an early blue in the old curriculum, your curriculum, watching grappling matches between purple belts and being like, I could fuck those guys up. I was just thinking about this yesterday. I vividly remember a video that I was showing you, like, I could fuck those guys up. Yeah. And now looking at it today, I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, you look at it now, not just older,
Yeah.
right? But you have more experience. You're more exposed to the art,
Yeah.
right? So now when you watch stuff like that now, you look at it through a different lens.
Yeah.
It's not just the typical. I've been doing it for a couple of years,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty awesome, and that wouldn't work on me. Now you have enough where you can go, that'd probably work on me, and I don't know if I could do anything about it. I've had dumber shit work.
Yep.
That would probably work really good.
God, Americana me from Mount.
Right.
Son of a bitch.
So, do you think that when you get those little nuggets of like, I wonder how I would do competing now, do you think that's a jiu-jitsu thing or do you think that's a guy thing?
I actually feel like it's a jiu-jitsu thing because I wonder how I would literally wonder how I'd hold up against other purple belts, like where I am in standings. Because like you guys go to Idaho, I've never been to Idaho. Like I don't really know how I would fare up with someone else that has my similar rank.
Sure.
So it's always that question.
Sure.
Like, am I progressing? Am I not?
Right.
Am I, just in a vacuum?
A constant need for calibration,
Yeah.
just to make sure that you're moving forward.
Which you told me you had something similar, and that's why you wanted to go out to Idaho.
Yeah, for sure. When you're a shark in the fish tank, right, so to speak, when you're the top tier of a gym that's located in the cornfield, you don't often get challenged.
Yeah.
You don't often feel like you're being pushed. You don't know where you're at.
Yep.
You don't know. So the first couple times that I was able to go to headquarters for Team Rhino, man, my eyes were opened. and a lot of that was because it was the first time that I got to roll with multiple black belts and feel helpless. Like there was a handful, and they were the nicest of guys, and I've had the opportunity to be able to call them my friends. But even before I knew them, they murdered me so delicately.
So, a question on that.
Yeah.
When you say they were the nicest, were the techniques nice, and you were still getting fucked up, or were they ruthless, cross-face, and you got raped?
No.
They were like super friendly with the hand slaps. And like
No, it was you know how some people do the let's go light,
Yeah.
and then they attack. It's nothing like that.
Really?
No, they were just better at jiu-jitsu. The first time I went out, I was a blue belt, and my world was turned inside out. I was like, what in the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah.
Then came back, and I'm very open with you guys.
Yeah.
You guys, I have zero issues telling you how much I get my ass kicked. I just, Jeff Curran hosted a black belt get together for Pedro Sauer. Was it earlier this year or late last year? I think it was earlier this year.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And dude, I got destroyed. Like, what the? And a lot of that is because we're not a competitive based school, right?
Right.
And you train under somebody with a big name, chances are you're going to be competing. We don't compete.
Yeah.
This is nothing more than a hobby and a lifestyle. But we definitely haven't made our name off of competitions,
Right.
Especially now that cage fighting has been removed.
Which do you think that with that competition vibe, is that sustainable? Do you think, or do you think that's
I don't think it's sustainable. Keith Owen has a great quote that talks about the people that push people toward competition. So what I mean by that is if you're an instructor that forces your people to compete, or if you're an instructor that the entire livelihood of your gym is based off of who you are, and your name being on somebody's back or on their rash guard, and they're competing, if you're that guy, your school is not, the sustainability for that culture is very, very small. Because in order to train like that, to be able to compete all the time, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
You're going to be plagued with injuries. And so the constant need for a rollover of students is there.
Yeah.
And unless you live someplace huge that can help feed that,
Yep.
your student body, you look at the people that we have here that have been here longer than 10 years, there's only a few.
Are there more than
Right.
me?
Right.
Well, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if Tony Farinini came back, he would be one of them, right? Because he started in 2009. Kinda. But he's been gone for 5 years.
Yeah.
So in order to have a student body that wakes and lives and breathes and dies by competition, the constant rollover of your students is so high because the injury rate is so high.
Yeah.
We don't do that here. We don't, and I'll never push that.
Which I do not mean to
Yeah.
interrupt, but actually
I told Rob to have a couple questions,
Yeah.
by the way.
all this is unrehearsed. We didn't talk about what we were going to
Nope.
talk about beforehand. This
Nope.
is all just off the cuff, except for this, which ties into what we were just talking about.
Okay.
My question was, how do you feel about schools that require students to compete in order to receive stripes on their belts or just to get all-around belt promotions? And why has that never been something you've implemented?
So, I think there are a couple different styles of jiu-jitsu, right? There's a ton of styles of grappling, but there are numerous style of jiu-jitsu that we love and know.
Yep.
So there's the obvious. There's gi. There's no gi.
Yep.
Right. And if you take it a little bit deeper, there is sport, and then there's self-defense. The reason that competing has never been a requirement for rank, and it will never be a requirement for rank, is because I don't care how good you are at sport jiu-jitsu. I don't care.
Yep.
And some people would argue, the sport guys would argue, yeah, but a rear naked's still a rear naked, an arm bar still an arm bar. You're right. But the line between the two, between sport and self-defense, should never be muddy. It should always be sport or self-defense. Gotcha. And then you have people that go, yeah, but if you're really, really good, if you're Gordon Ryan, you can handle yourself on the street. Right, but I only know one Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen.
And there's only so much PEDs in the world that.
That's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
I would rather you have a solid understanding of the art, an intimate relationship with jiu-jitsu, rather than some competitive streak that gets you to class. I would rather have your thirst and you quench for knowledge get you down here rather than I have a tournament coming up in 2 months.
Yeah.
I am so far removed from that. Dude, I can't, you know me, and we've talked about this extensively. I could not care less. I really could not. When people tell me they have a tournament coming up or that, good luck, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome. I would rather have you studying the curriculum
Yeah.
and getting better at the fundamentals that you think that you're awesome at. I would rather have you polishing that stuff, getting ready for your next rank. And if maybe rank isn't your thing, right? That's fine too. But the curriculum still works. Polish that. Become so fluent and proficient with our curriculum that your self-defense is impenetrable.
Yeah.
That's what I care about. I could care less about competitions, and I'll never require it. I'm not going to say at blue belt you have to compete. Yeah. At purple belt. And the reason being is I've watched people that I was a 10-year blue belt. So if I'd have competed at the 9th year in my 10th year blue belt, that's not fair.
No, that's sandbagging.
Like, come on, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you may run into, right? So I competed early. So my first 2 years in jiu-jitsu, I competed a lot, and that was all no-gi. So if I would have waited and not competed until 10 years as a blue belt, 12th year in the martial art, that's not fair. And when you're going to run into that, and I don't think that's an accurate judge of what your skill set is.
Yeah.
So if I have somebody that I'm like, man, I'm either contemplating taking them to the next belt or contemplating giving them a stripe, and then they go and compete and they get their ass kicked, did they just go against the person that that maybe is sandbagging, or maybe they've had that rank for way too long, it's not inaccurate. So when I see people get belts tied around them on the podium, dude, it's so cringy to me that it's like, come now. Was that their 9th tournament they won? Okay, then maybe.
Do you think that's just so they can get their name out? Like,
I don't know. I see people do it. You see it in the cage too. People get their black belt in the cage, and it's like,
well, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of those MMA days.
Right.
Just at least a bitter taste in my mouth.
it's like, what is going on, man?
Yeah.
So going through rank and with the subject leaning that way, we have testings.
Yeah.
And we have testing fees, and we have attendance requirements. Now these are not very popular subjects.
But they work, though. They
They
work
work.
really well.
They work.
Yeah.
So I come from a traditional martial arts background where I trained traditionally for 15 years before I started jiu-jitsu. I enjoy the structure of a training. I also enjoy the structure of knowing exactly what I have to do for my next rank.
Yeah.
I like that. It gives me something to work for. I enjoy that. And it's never bothered me to pay for a testing. Now in our association, we're unique because if you pay for a testing and you fail, you get that money back. So what that tells people is, all the people, they go, well, testing's a money grab. If they charge you, it's a money grab. Well, it might be for some places, but ours, you get the money back if you fail, and they tell you, hey, just give it 6 more months.
It's
Keep
such a
doing
weird
it.
thing because that gogoes to the Team Rhino affiliate too, right? I mean, I would just take my money.
Just take my money,
you
whatever.
know, like,
Yeah. Keith, he's given us so much.
Yeah.
And I have zero issues with paying association dues or
Absolutely,
testing
yeah.
fees or whatever you want. I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Yep.
And to call myself a Team Rhino affiliate.
Yeah.
That's huge for us. And we, for so long, we were Ronin, right? Like we were martial artists with no masters.
Yep.
So when he took us, a small school in White Pigeon, he took us under his belt and allowed us to join the association. That was huge for us.
Yeah.
You remember those days?
Well, I don't think I was here in the beginning. Was I?
You were one of the phone calls. You and Steven were some of the phone calls for my reference.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I gave him your guys' name and number because he wanted referrals.
Oh.
Like, how do I know you're not a piece of shit, right? It was funny. He made me send him my CPL, a picture of my CPL, because
Really?
felons can't get a CPL.
Yep.
And then he wanted to speak to a handful of you guys. He was funny like that. And then once all that went through, it was like best friends from day one. So,
Can I
yeah,
bring something?
you go ahead.
I don't know if I've ever told you this. So, there was a time where your birthday was coming up.
Yeah.
And you were just starting to talk about Keith. I messaged him and said, hey, my instructor thinks you're awesome. Can you just wish him a happy birthday? And this was like a week before your birthday.
Prior to
He's
my
like,
birthday.
Fuck yeah, I can. Yeah, I can do that. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
You never told me that. No.
So I lost
But
it.
if you scroll through my Facebook, I'm sure it's there way back in the day.
I would. That affiliation is so awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, and they've treated us with nothing but respect and done nothing but give to us.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and the times that that's why I got to get you to Idaho, dude.
Yeah.
Like you got to get out there so you can experience what the handful of us have experienced. They're so welcoming and professional, and everything about it's awesome. You got to meet Sherlane.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's our jiu-jitsu mom.
It's so weird because it's a business, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so you always think businesses is like this evil corporation and everything.
Right.
Like, oh, they're taking our...
It's so far removed.
It's so crazy that something like that can be so different.
Yeah.
And I feel solace in the fact that we're under Team Rhino.
For sure.
To be honest.
Yeah, and that they know our names.
Yeah.
You can join much larger affiliations, which you'll never get to meet the head honcho, or you'll never get to have a relationship with the black belts that are in the association. We're very, very fortunate.
Totally get snubbed, you know.
Right.
Like,
Right. You're just a monthly payment that's
Yeah.
coming in for it.
Yeah.
They're not like that
Which
at all.
I've seen recently.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, so we just finished up with open mat. It's Saturday, by the way.
Yeah.
Good open mat. It was a good one. I truly I enjoy our open mats.
Yeah.
Our open mats are open to only members. we reserve the right to decline. We're a private club in the fact that we don't just let anybody just drop in. Everybody's vetted. There needs to be permission for people to be here. How do you feel about that?
That's the only way to go.
Yeah.
It's the only way to go because I'm 37, about to turn 38 next year. I don't have time for the guys that feel like they have to.
The weekend warriors.
I can't do it.
I'm going to come down and prove to you how tough I am.
And I don't think cross training is terrible. Like if you're going out of state and you want to just drop in another gym,
It's perfect.
That's great.
Yep, you should.
But man, when people do that, when I see someone new come in that door, I go, "Are we going to be buds, or are we fighting for a trophy here?"
Right.
And there's one person in particular that I think about that. And
Yeah. And that's part of the reason that I switched the way that we do it is because of that. Because I would rather have a student body that I trust completely with my health and well-being. So I can let you, not even like, that sounds horrible. I'm not going to say it like that. If you throw a submission and you're doing that submission, and I know there's no way for me out of that, I can give up and be like, oh, here it goes, right? Like I'm past the point of being able to defend it. And if I release my grip and not give you, I don't want to say that. That's mean. If you take the arm, but you see what I'm saying.
But it's not. It's a gift. We use that
Yeah,
term all the time.
all the
It's a
time.
gift.
But let's pretend that it's not a gift.
Okay.
All right, and it's legit, and you catch me, and I know that when I'm about to lose grip, oh God, I know that you're not going to break my arm.
Right.
You don't know that if you have 8, 10 new people a week stopping in.
Yes.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
And that one person that has decided to train for 6 months of their life could ruin everything that you've done for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I shut it down.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I don't care. You get a hold of me and tell me you want to stop in. And we had somebody not too long ago, earlier this summer. We've had people that get a hold of me and they tell me they want to drop in and this is where they're at and this is what ranked it. That's awesome. I love it. You're more than welcome. Come on down. But going back to the cage fighting thing, if you tell me you're getting ready for a cage fight and you want to stop in, you find somebody else. Find someplace else. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's not the way that we train. We don't condone any of that. And so this is a topic that you and I are passionate about. So I want to make sure that we touch on this. What's the difference between, this is a hot take, it's going to rub people the wrong way, don't care. What's the difference between your average amateur MMA fighter and your average amateur jiu-jitsu class attendant?
Oof.
Like, why don't we want those people coming in?
They are the least humble people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that I could allow someone that's training for the cage to come down and roll with me because they don't care. They don't give a shit about my well-being.
Nope.
Like I truly feel that a lot of those guys are here to prove that they're the toughest sons of bitches ever, and that's what they're there to prove.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
I hate it.
Like, and that goes back to when we were doing it here. Like, there was no care for my well-being. Like,
None.
only well-being that I had was me.
It was funny when you got hurt, right? Like, people were like, haha.
Yeah, and not me. Remember when I fucked up Joe's shoulder?
Yeah.
Felt horrible.
Horrible.
But that emotion was missing for 90% of the class.
Right.
And it was weird, too. There was another guy that was, and I don't hate anybody, but there was a guy that was here, and he was like, it was my birthday, and he goes, hey, I was going to let you put me out. I had a choke on him, triangle, or something like that. He was like, why'd you let go? It's your birthday. I was going to let you put me out. It's like, why?
What is the point?
There's no point. There's absolutely no point. Like, I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I saw a post just yesterday, because I was trying to go through the groups, trying to find hot questions.
Yeah,
and I was gonna try
sure.
to bring them in here. One of them was, and I wasn't going to bring this up, was when was the first time you've ever been put out, and who was it by, and what choke was it? Why would you put yourself through that?
Why? Yeah, that shouldn't be. If done right, you shouldn't have that memory.
Yeah, no.
There should be no recollection of that. You shouldn't. If you've been put out, if you've been put to sleep during class, there are two terrible things that happened. The person that put you to sleep is completely unaware of what they were doing, and or you're an idiot and you refuse to tap.
Horrible.
Horrible.
It's everything around
You
it.
changed the choke to a knee bar, and now you're on crutches for 6 months. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb. You can. We all have jobs.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is not my job.
Well, let's even go back to the choke. Like, what's one of the biggest things that you talk about when someone gets put out? Like, what happens?
Pooping yourself.
Do you want your friend that you would take a bullet for to shit themselves in practice?
Right.
No.
Right.
Come on.
What is the point?
Yeah, it's
what
totally
is the
pointless.
point? Yeah.
Which goes back to the MMA thing. It's just,
That was their mentality.
yeah,
Yeah.
to the death. To the death.
We've come a long way, dude.
Yeah, we sure have. I don't
A
miss it
long
at
way.
all.
Not at all. I'll never go back. I'll close it down. I've said it 1,000 times for those of you that know me. I've said it 1,001. I'll close it down first.
Not to say I don't miss, and I think you do stand up enough to scratch the itch. But there are times where I miss the boxing side
Sure.
of things. But
Sure.
it's not enough for me to miss the crowd.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It brings a different clientele.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's sickening. But it's different now.
Oh, 100% different.
Our student body's awesome.
Yeah.
We have a great group of people.
Yeah.
Every one of them that cares about your safety, that cares about you not being here.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you here? You missed. Quit being a pansy, right? Like we harass each other to make sure that we keep each other in check, right?
And why do we harass people for that?
Out of love. Like I would, and for those of you that I've harassed, and Rob's one of them.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not. Nobody's
Safe.
free from it. But the reason we do that is because I'm mad. I'm irritated. That I don't get to spend the evening with you on the mat, right?
Because there are very few things that warrant a call off.
Yeah.
For the benefit that you get from being
From
here.
being here.
Yeah.
There's very few exchanges.
Yeah.
And when somebody doesn't come just because they don't feel like coming, that's great for you, but you're ripping off a dozen other people or so that was really looking forward to spending time with you that night.
And it's not that we want to just kill them.
No.
It's not. It's
No.
it's, oh, hey, look, I thought about this. I want to show so-and-so this.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is a weird hobby because for those of us that love it, we love it dearly, and we can't understand how some people can't love it.
Yeah.
So when they come down and try it, and they get their feet wet, and then they leave, it's a very irritable situation for us because it's like, how dare you not love this? It's like when somebody doesn't like your kid.
Yep.
You're just like, fuck you, dude. My kid's awesome. What are you talking about, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how dare you speak ill of my kid? So like when I hear people go, I don't know, I don't like the way it makes me feel, or I don't like this, or I don't like that. It's like, how dare you? Like, you don't talk bad about jiu-jitsu. Like,
Well, and it's partly because, like, do you remember back in the day? Like, how long did it take you, not you, when you would give us nuggets?
Yeah.
Like, now, like, let's use the knee on belly thing.
okay.
Like, you would take knee on belly, you'd
Yeah.
be like, hey, push the knee, push the
Right,
knee.
right.
And then you'd fucking darce the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, you son of a bitch. But you told me to push the knee. Like, that's horrible advice.
Right.
Because you're going to fuck me up after.
Yeah.
And that's how it was forever.
Forever.
Now what do? It's not, hey, push the knee. Hey, do this instead to negate my knee on belly. Hey,
Right.
do this because this is really shitty for you. This is in your best interest.
Yeah.
And so, you know who you are when I say this. And I love you to death.
Here we go.
But, you know, we spoon feed these escapes or attacks or whatever. And we're doing it because we love you guys.
Yeah.
And we're not holding information back anymore.
No.
Because that's how it used to be. Like, we'd hold information and we would, like, sharpen our blades.
Yeah, we'd have our little bag of tricks.
And we would just work the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And we'd have these 5 techniques or
Yep.
whatever, and we'd just be fucking solid at it, no matter whether we were just fucking you guys up.
Yep.
It's different now.
It's different now.
So it's like, hey, don't let me do this because
Right.
I'm going to fuck you up afterwards.
Right.
And
So what, and I have my opinion on this, but why is it different now?
because we all grow together. We
Yeah.
all grow together. When it's there, so everybody, and when I say training tool, that sounds very disconnected, but everybody here is a training tool.
Mm-hmm.
They're a tool.
A vital part of our success are them.
A farmer doesn't go out to his combine and slash his fucking tires and cut
Right.
the hydraulic lines.
Right.
Like, that's not what you do.
It sets him back.
Yeah, it's a horrible fucking idea.
Yeah.
If you blow my knee out and I'm out for 6 months, I can't train with you and make you better.
Yeah.
So when I give you these little nuggets and I try to get you to fall in love with this as much as I did, it's only helping everybody.
Yeah. So you remember back in the day when I would go push the knee, push the knee. When I would do that, it's because we had a group of people. We didn't care if they came back.
No. We were, in fact, probably hoping they would
Yeah.
come back.
Now it's like, dude, don't push that knee. Like, why? Well, go ahead and do it. I'll show you.
Yeah.
And you do it, and they go, oh. Where we used to try to trick you into, and I still do. Like, I'll do stupid stuff. Like, lift your head. I'll do stupid stuff, but it's all in fun.
But 20 minutes prior to that, you're like, hey,
Right.
don't do this shit.
Right. Or what's your thought process here? Because this is only going to get you hurt,
Yeah,
right?
like, there's always disclaimers before. Like, even if it was a class prior to, yeah, asshole, don't lift your head because that's a stupid idea.
Right.
And then the next week, you're like, yeah, lift your head, wink.
Right. And then you lift your head, you're like, well, that's on you. I
Yeah.
tried showing you, right?
Yeah.
I think that the overall, our ability for empathy is much greater now.
For sure.
Because we want to help nurture and cultivate and have people feel like, listen, you're going to get your ass kicked a lot, but we love you while we're doing it, and we want you to come back dearly, so it's harder to kick your ass in the long run.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important part to relay, is so people understand that we're not doing it because we can and we think it's funny. While we may think it's funny, the end goal is to make it so you're harder to beat up.
So it's like the 5-year plan. Like,
Yeah.
We're not doing it. Like, we're fucking you up now because in 5 years, you're a fucking monster.
You're a monster.
You're a monster.
How many people have we had in here that go, dude, give this person 2 years? Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? And we've had this talk.
Yep.
And it's like, man, you give these guys, if this person sticks with it for 2 years, we're all in trouble. Yep. And then 30 classes later, they disappear.
It sucks.
And it's like,
so
dude, if they only knew, they could be a powerhouse in no time.
Is it because there are a couple of people that I can think of that were just naturally gifted at it?
Sure.
And again, no questions on this.
Yeah, yeah.
Naturally gifted. Is it because there's one person in particular that I can think of that was just amazing?
Yeah.
Super flexible, pretty awesome, and fucked me up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he quit.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucked because he could have made me so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because they find it so naturally easy that they lose interest?
No. I think, and maybe, I don't know, I can't speak for them.
Yep.
I'll tell you what I've seen. So,
Do you know what I'm talking
yep.
about? Okay.
So, since we opened in 2007, so I don't know what the math is on that. And it's 2024 now, but we've seen a lot of people come through the doors.
Locked.
I've seen a lot of naturally gifted killers. I've seen people that had training that were naturally gifted killers. I've had people that haven't had any training, and like we said, you can identify the fact that this person's going to be a monster in a year, in 2 years, right?
And he had more experience than I did.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wait, years before you even came down.
Yep.
People like that quit because of a couple of reasons. The people that they should be able to manhandle become slimmer and slimmer because people that are naturally gifted typically don't have the work ethic.
Yeah.
So they come down here, they're manhandling everybody. If they stick with it long enough, that number becomes smaller and smaller because they're naturally gifted. They don't have to work as hard.
Right.
So when it gets to the point where people are much harder for them to deal with and their lack of work ethic, they just quit.
Yeah.
And that person had zero work ethic.
That is true.
It was miserable.
It sucked too because he could have been so good.
So good. So good. Yeah. Literally could have had a name for himself.
Yeah.
With his flexibility. He literally back then had a wealth of knowledge.
Charismatic as fuck.
Yeah.
Too.
But it was just like, dude, what the hell? That's what you get. And
And then the people that you don't think are going to stick with it,
they stick with it.
they stick with it.
And they right?
Did you think I was
no.
No.
And if I could have a dozen of you,
Huh?
life would be great. But I have a handful of you that, in theory, you're supposed to be doing something else right now.
Yeah,
You're
I should
not.
be
Yeah.
fucking
Whatever.
Typo.
Yeah. You should be doing something that I'm so fortunate to have.
Oh, you stop.
Because you've stuck around through the hard time. And everybody's teeth cutting phase is different. Yours was during the MMA.
Yeah.
So that was different. Some people's teeth cutting was before we had established rank, right? Some people's teeth cutting is because they're one of a kind, right? We don't have a lot of females. We have one, right?
Who is
like,
awesome.
Like her teeth cutting sucks. I wouldn't have stuck around. And we've watched many other females not because of that. So everybody's teeth cutting phase is a little bit different, and they have to get through it. If you're your typical 25 to 45, 25 to 50-year-old male, with or without an athletic background, you're just normal, right? Like, especially if you start now, you're just normal. Suck it up, get through it. It sucks. It's going to make you a better man at the end of the day. It's going to make you a better family man. It's going to make you, everything about jiu-jitsu is going to make you better.
Because you've never had anything that sucked as much as someone sitting on your face for 5 minutes.
Nothing. Nothing.
And that's why it frustrates me so much when people miss class, because like, you don't understand what you're going to turn into 5 years from now.
Right.
You're going to go to work and go, man, fucking work sucks. And then your day's ruined.
Your day's ruined.
Like, what you don't realize is that, you know, yeah, work sucks, but man, I had so-and-so sitting on my fucking face for 5 minutes and just absolutely murdering me.
Cranking my shoulder.
You know, work wasn't nearly as bad as that.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Could be worse. It could be so much worse.
And then on the flip side, if you do it long enough, you go, dude, I cannot believe I caught so-and-so with this 3 times in the same round.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of joy that you get from something as trivial as that, the amount of joy that you get from something that you're not going to post on Facebook, right? Yeah. Because it's just, you want to keep it to yourself.
Well, and for me, it's not even that, so I caught so-and-so 3 times with this.
It worked.
I sweeped that guy that's got 75 fucking pounds on me.
Right.
And he didn't even, there was no light at the end of the tunnel for that. Like,
and for 6 months, it's failed.
Yeah.
But today it worked.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. It's, jiu-jitsu is funny like that.
It really is.
Right?
Yep.
So now that we're caught up and we're on, make sure my battery's still good. Now that we're caught up and we're on,
I forgot there was a phone there recording.
We're in current times. Give me your favorite thing about jiu-jitsu.
My favorite thing about jiu-jitsu. I don't know if I have a favorite thing per se. So I've done it for so long now. It's not even that I have a favorite thing about it. It's so habitual now for me that if I don't do it, I'm a worse human being.
Yeah.
So it's to the point now to where, like, let's say for the next 3 weeks I missed. After those 3 weeks, and I go home, my wife goes, "Why are you being such a fucking asshole?"
And you don't even realize
you
you're
don't even
being that
realize
way.
it.
Yeah.
You don't realize. Like, I just had this conversation the other day. So I told you my dog was sick.
Yep.
Had to have her eye cut out on Tuesday.
Oh my God, dude.
Pretty shitty, right?
That's pretty shitty.
What I told her is, she's like, "Are you going to practice on Thursday?" I'm like, I really should. I found out, I think Thursday, and she's like, "Well, what do you want? Are you going to go to practice?" And I go, "I don't know. Her grandma just had a stroke,
Right.
so I'm like, should I just stay home, keep the family in check,
Sure.
or do I take my self-preservation mode and go and choke people
Right.
because I need it for my own mental health?"
Right.
Like, that's where I'm at with jiu-jitsu now. Like, it's such a habitual thing. And the stresses that I have in my life, I don't even realize are really there.
Sure.
But this outlet that I have makes the sound or all the noise quieter.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's what I want for everyone that I try to drag down here. Mm-hmm. So.
And most people quit before they get to there.
Yeah.
Like, you quit yoga after 2 yoga sessions because it hurts.
Yeah. The hardest fucking thing I've ever done.
You never find peace.
Yeah.
Most people quit jiu-jitsu because they never get to the point where they realize that the hardest thing they've ever done is the best thing for their mental acuteness, for their soul, for everything that makes them who they are. Mm-hmm. Jiu-jitsu, the tool of jiu-jitsu is immeasurable.
Yeah. So I chalk it up to like this too. Like, so I've got 1 kid that's mine and 3 kids that aren't mine.
Yep.
And all of them, like, I do pretty well. And so my kids, they don't struggle at all.
Yeah.
So the hardest thing in their day is, I don't know, they walk through and they stub their toe on the fucking coffee table.
Right.
Like, that's the hardest
Having to
thing.
put away their laundry.
It's a horrible.
Right.
It's a life-ending problem.
Yeah.
And that's the same. That translates to men too.
Yeah.
So when you have this, that recalibrates everything. That stub toe is like, fuck that stub toe.
Right.
I just had fucking so-and-so almost break my shoulder
Right.
the other day.
Right.
You need that calibration mode.
Yeah. As a man.
Yeah, for sure.
And not to say that women don't need that.
Oh, yeah.
But men need it because we're flipping people off and running people off the road in traffic if we don't have it, right? If you train, you don't flip them off or run them off the road because you don't know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And when you train, you see what people are truly capable of without a weapon. You're like, whoa, it's okay if I'm 2 minutes late. Just chill out. It's all right. Life is okay. Because when I get to where I'm going, it's going to be like everything's okay. But when you don't train, you find this heightened level of anxiety, and when you're younger, this heightened level of testosterone that you need some outlet for, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself getting your ass kicked at a gas station parking lot. Yeah. And that's not how you prove how much of a man you are.
Totally not a question I had.
Okay.
But do you have that? So how tall are you?
6'2".
You're how much you weigh?
240 pounds.
Do you still
Of
have
awesomeness.
Sheer awesomeness.
Sheer awesomeness.
So when I go somewhere out in public, in the back of my brain, I always go, hey, so-and-so pissed you off, but you don't know if that motherfucker's got cauliflower ear that's so bad that he can't put earbuds in his ears.
Right. I wrestled in college for 4 years.
Yeah, someone cuts me off in traffic, and I feel compelled to get out of my car and
Right.
say, hey, dickhead.
Right.
Like, do you still have that?
Very seldom, dude.
Well, I mean, do you get out and you go, hey, I shouldn't be an asshole because I don't know what this guy knows?
No. Because I don't even get out of my car.
You don't care.
I don't care. But I'll tell you, like, so I take a lot of vacations every year. So I'm going on vacation. I leave next, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday.
God damn it.
And I know. I'll be gone for 7 days. By the time I get back, my fuse is much shorter. Not because of vacation. Mm-hmm. Vacation should be where you relax and unwind and make memories, and that's great.
Sure.
My fuse is shorter because I haven't got to inflict jujitsu on people.
Which goes back to me, like the habitual side of things. Like, I have to have this.
I have to have it.
My
Or I'm flipping people off in traffic.
Yep.
And I've got low testosterone, you guys, and I'm still flipping people off.
Me too.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's just, I think a lot of it's part of being a guy.
Yeah.
And the world we live in causes people to be more anxious, more irritable, easier to piss off. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but I'm 46, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so I shouldn't be like that. But if I'm training consistently, dude, I could not care less.
So the funny thing about this whole sport is, like, you don't realize, and we've talked about this hundreds of times, like, you don't know who is a killer and who's not. Like, I don't have cauliflower ear.
Right.
Like, you'd have no idea that I could just, your average fucking guy at Walmart, just absolutely murder you. Like, you wouldn't be able to crawl out because I break both your arms.
Right.
You couldn't walk out because your legs would be broke. Like,
Right.
You have no idea.
That's what keeps me training.
Yeah.
Right, is because I get to come down here and I get to see the most unassuming group of people do things to each other that your average male or female have no clue what's capable of. They have no clue because they've literally never been in a confrontation in their life. Yeah. So when I hear people talking shit, and I'll just, that motherfucker even tried, I would just, shut up. You'd get raped in a Taco Bell parking lot and look stupid. Shut up. I hate that shit.
Let's go back. Let's go back 10 to 8 years ago. Do you remember when we had the walls up and you took two people and you put them in there and you go, hey, you motherfuckers, the rest of you stay out. These two are going to figure an altercation out in here.
Yeah.
And what transpired from that?
Yeah.
And I don't know who's going to watch this or whatever, but like this.
Right.
Like, men need this. Men need this stuff.
You need to struggle. You need to be put in your place.
Yep.
You need to understand that, especially non-competitive men. So it's twofold. You got the people that like either wrestled or played football in high school, and for some reason they're like Al Bundy and they haven't let go of their past and they still think they're tough.
He was a bad motherfucker.
He's a bad dude. Like, no offense, Ed O'Neill, you're awesome. I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of your character.
Yeah.
Or you have the men that have done nothing and still think they're tough.
Yeah.
And it's like, what, dude? Like, what is going on? What in society has led you to believe that you have any capability of defending yourself or defending your family?
Yeah. I just see red, bro.
Yeah, I just see red and things slow down. Jesus Christ! Shut the fuck up. This is for everybody who's ever said, "I just see red." Shut up. Shut up. It's stupid.
Come down for a free week.
Okay, so That's a good answer. Who? So you've had a lot, dude. You've had a lot of training partners. Like we established, you've been around for a long time. Who is? Give me your top 3, whether it be current or whether it be historically. Give me your top 3 people that you love rolling with the most.
Oof. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to throw you in there.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah, you have
I'm
to.
fun, dude.
Yep. By far my favorite because, and you have to because you're black belt.
Right.
So you still give me the nuggets and I go, oh, fuck. I should have known that
Those light bulb moments.
5 years ago.
Yeah. I pride myself on being able to identify misgivings and be able to, if I can get that light bulb to illuminate, it's like, that's why I come over
Are
here.
they even misgivings or are they things that you weren't aware of at the time either?
Could have been. Yeah. My jiu-jitsu IQ has grown more in the last year. So I've only been a black belt for a year. My jiu-jitsu IQ has grown more in the last year than it has in the last 5.
Yeah.
It really has.
I really feel like that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. I'm going to throw out a name here,
Okay.
and you're going to go, makes sense.
Okay.
Dustin.
Yeah, dude, Dustin was awesome.
He was so awesome. To this day, I would still take a bullet for that guy.
Yeah.
I love him to death.
Yeah.
And he was so naturally gifted and so
Yep.
naturally athletic
Yep.
that if he could get past, I doubt you'll listen to it, Dustin, but God, I would love to roll with you again. I would love to help bring you up. If I'm beyond you, I would love to spoon feed everything to you.
Yeah.
And
He was a good one.
God, he was so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that guy to death. Mm-hmm. So he'd be my number 2.
Okay.
Third one?
Yeah.
Oof. Man, that's a toughie. That's really
It's
a
a tough
toughie.
one. Yeah. I don't know if I could come up with 3, dude. I don't know if I could. I could come up with 200. I don't know if I could come up with 3.
So I would say it's a tie.
Okay.
I would say my most important outside of you, I got 2.
Okay.
It's Scott Weinberg
Yep.
and Wendy.
Okay.
So Scott, because he really does challenge me still, really, really makes me think. Occasionally I have to deal with the strength issue.
Sure.
And
Sure.
that causes me to adapt my game, which
Sure.
isn't a bad thing.
No.
And then Wendy, women that do jiu-jitsu, there's nothing better than
It's
women.
priceless.
I would rather learn from a woman
Yep.
instructor
Yep.
than a man instructor
Yep.
because we don't have the ego,
Nope.
or they don't have the ego, and they don't have the strength.
Yeah.
So if you can show me a technique, being humble
Yep.
and not using strength,
Yep.
oh, hands down.
You can't even put a price on it.
Like I was talking to you just the other day, her spider guard.
Right.
It was just insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hands
And
down.
nobody down here is going to do it the way that she does it.
No.
Yeah.
And
Which is
she's-
what makes it so awesome.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
So, yeah, I'm not surprised by any of those names. I actually thought of Dustin the other day. So I knew that when I was going to ask this question, I should have wrote down who I thought you'd pick.
Yeah.
Because I knew that Dustin would be in it. Because
love
you
that
guys had a good relationship. He was a lot of fun.
Well,
to
do you
train
remember the
with.
time he caught me back in the MMA days? He caught me in something, and I got so pissed I slammed my gloves
Yep.
on the mat and
Yep.
then walked off.
Yep. Man, I remember that.
Yep.
But you would pick your gloves back up and wish for him to come back anytime, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Absolutely. I wish
Yeah.
he'd come back now. I love the guy to death.
Yep.
I wish,
He was
I wish
awesome.
There was no.
We've had a lot of good, fun people to train with that are awesome in their own right.
And it's so crazy to me that people like that. Like, they were so naturally gifted. Like I just said about the other guy that I was talking about.
Uh-huh.
If they'd have stuck with it, they would have just been absolute killers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could have possibly made money at it.
You could have,
I
especially that one.
Yeah.
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 So because I have more questions, but if
For
you
sure.
go ahead and give me another one of yours,
let's
because I tasked Rob with coming up with questions
Yeah.
for this, and
Ooh, here's a good one.
Okay.
Do purple G-strings have a place in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What?
whew, yes,
They should.
The answer is yeah, and if they don't, they should, and you should change your no-gi attire to purple G-string. This is a private joke, and Rob came to class one day in a purple G-string. It's
What?
not. It was very cold in the gym that day.
It was. It took me a little while to come back
yeah,
out
it
from
was-
the changing room.
It was, yeah, that sparks some memories. Holy cow.
All right, a real question.
Okay.
All right, let's see. This is kind of not a lame one, but so when they do belt promotions, let's say you have 16 people in class, and you line 8 people on each side, and you've promoted one person, and they go, or whatever the math is, because I can't math very well.
Yep.
And I've been drinking.
Mathing's hard.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And you go through the gauntlet. They just whip the shit out of you with their belts. I've seen pictures of people having welts from belts.
Yeah.
Why'd you never take that route?
A couple different reasons. Same reason that I stopped the birthday rolls. So we used to do a thing down here that were birthday rolls. So if it was your 35th birthday, we would circle everybody up. Everybody would have a number, and you'd be in the middle. And we would call out a number 2 for a couple minutes, 6 for a couple minutes, 8 for a couple minutes. So you would essentially, after the 3rd or 4th round, you were tired, and you'd get your ass kicked. And it went for the duration of 1 minute for every year that it was your birthday. So if you're 35 years old, you go for 35 minutes, you get your ass kicked. Now, while some people loved it, we stopped doing it. And we would like hold it. Like if you missed your birthday and you didn't come for 2 weeks, when you showed up, you were doing your birthday roll. And then I realized that was doing nothing for that person.
Very almost detrimental to them.
It almost stopped them from coming to class. It didn't get them anything, and more importantly, while they didn't get really anything out of it, the 15 people in the circle were losing the class.
That's true. Yeah.
They were just sitting around doing nothing, hoping to get 2 minutes of grapple time to jump in the circle. I got tired, and what happened was we had a couple months with like 5 and 6 birthdays in it. So it was like, dude, I'm going to lose like 10 classes trying to get this to go. And it wasn't beneficial to everybody.
Right.
And it was detrimental to the person that it was focused at, and the people that came to class that day got nothing out of it. So we stopped. Same thing with the gauntlet style stuff. I don't care what you do at your gym. Listen, I've been a black belt for a year. I don't care.
But you've been at it for how long?
But I've been at it for almost 20 years. So I don't care the silly traditions that some places have. We have silly traditions too. We still bow to people on the wall, and some people think that's weird. I don't care. This is what I've learned. Some people need that stuff. They need the hazing. They need that to feel that it somehow sealed whatever that promotion was.
Like a part of the club.
A part of the club.
Yep.
We will never whip you with a belt down here because I don't feel that it adds anything to your training.
Yeah.
Right? If I can justify it by saying, well, it helps you learn to deal with pain, right? It's just funny.
Yeah.
People beating the hell out of each other with belts is just funny. We've never done it.
Yep.
We'll never do it. But on that same token, while I'll say that we'll never do that, some places don't ever do testings, right?
Which is another question I was going to bring up.
So,
Can I
yeah,
segue?
yeah, go ahead.
Because I wrote it down.
Okay.
Let's see. Not that one. Oh, hold on. Let's see.
You can't read.
I can't read.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I actually didn't write it down.
Okay.
But I was going to ask you, and I didn't write it down. How do you feel about curriculum versus the old school ways where it was you walked in and then you felt, hey, so-and-so deserves a stripe? Like, do you enjoy the curriculum side of things, or do you miss the old school ways where it was like, hey, so-and-so has been really good at escaping whatever position. They've really been showing a lot of dedication. Here's your stripe. Here's a surprise. Bam, you walk away and you're like, oh, fuck. I just got another stripe on my blue belt, purple belt, whatever.
Old school jiu-jitsu?
Old school.
Yeah. I don't miss it at all.
No?
So the reason that I like the curriculum, the reason I like the fact that everything is curriculum-based is twofold. The first one, you as the student knows exactly what needs to take place.
Yep.
There's no mystery. We're not hiding anything from you, right?
Yep.
You know from white to, we have a green belt, so much like the Gracie combatives, we have a green belt. So from white to green, you know exactly what you have to do. From green to blue and so on and so forth. I like that from the student's perspective. From my perspective, it removes all favoritism. Nobody can ever say, hey, they like so-and-so better, they like so-and-so better, they can't say that.
Yep.
Because we have an hour requirement, right? You have to come to so many classes to even be eligible for a stripe. And if you don't have that, you're not getting a stripe,
Yep.
right? So as you climb the rank and as you climb the ladder, that's all based on you and what your effort has done.
Yeah.
It's not based on how I feel about you.
Yeah.
Where the other part gets dicey is, let's say as an instructor, I have a hard time with somebody because our games don't align, right? And when we grapple, I don't have answers for what you do. Mm-hmm. I might think that you're better than what you are when everybody else in class might be messing you up.
Yeah.
But I don't notice it because when I go with you, man,
Yeah.
you know, their butterfly guard is unbelievable, or this, or they always have my back, or man, I might put you on a pedestal that's not deserving.
Or you can go the other way, and they're just a pain in the ass, and you're like, man, fuck this guy. This guy's a
He's
asshole.
never going to get rank.
And then you have someone like me who comes and hangs out with you every day at work or whatever.
Right.
And then you're like, yeah, Rob guy, he's pretty fucking
He's
awesome.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Give him
Here's
some
the
stripes.
Fuck this guy that wants to.
Right.
Yeah.
The fuck this guy,
Yep.
he still turns in his card.
Yeah.
And he goes, you may not like me, but I am ready for a stripe.
I'm putting in the work.
Right.
So there for a long time, man, it was a long time where I didn't like the curriculum side of things. I liked the old school.
Yeah.
Because you'd walk in and you go, oh, fuck, I am progressive.
Because you were my buddy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
And then, like, man, so now it's so black and white. Like, if you don't put in the work anymore, like, if you don't put the extra work in, you're not going to get it.
yeah. And by work, you mean
Coming in off days.
if you don't come to class
or
or
right.
even the extra day. But if you're not here,
Yeah.
so first and foremost, you'll never be able to get rank if you're not here.
Yeah.
And you have some people that like will come twice a month. I mean, if you come 2-3 times a month, you're not going anywhere.
And hold on, like, I've been that guy.
You've
I've
been that
the
guy.
that only came down twice a month.
3 times a month. You for a long time you were a 3-time-a-month
Yeah.
guy, and people were like, "There's no way he's coming 3 times a month." And you look at your attendance and go, "Well, he's coming almost once a week, so it feels like you're here a lot."
And I'd fuck everybody up.
Right.
Back then.
Right? And we were buddies. So on the old style, you'd be getting stripes.
Yeah.
Here you go, bro.
Yep.
Here you go. Right? So I like the curriculum because it removes the responsibility from me.
Yeah.
And it puts all the responsibility in the person. It puts all the responsibility in the student, and there's no gray area.
Yeah.
You know, we've never done the whole. Well, he's ready for us. You know, he's got the hours, but I'm going to wait 6 months. We've never done that.
Yeah.
We don't play that game. If you've got your hours in, you'll get the stripe. Now, when it comes to color changes, there very well may be times where I go, you need to work on this. Like, come on, man.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's a big milestone. So, but when it comes to stripes and when it comes to the curriculum, dude, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But I come from traditional martial arts.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan. So I know a lot of people aren't. I know it took a long time to get a student body that was actually like, let's adopt this.
Yeah.
You know, when Keith rolled it out, there was mixed reactions. A lot of people fought against it. A lot of people resisted.
Yep.
And it was like, but I liked it because it was coming from traditional martial arts. It was very much it was structured.
Yeah.
I need structure.
Yep.
And I can't emphasize this enough. I love not being responsible for your success.
Yeah.
I'm responsible in the sense that I'm going to give you the outlet. I'm going to give you the knowledge. I'm going to give you the tips, the tricks. I'm going to give you all that. But you still have to come to class.
Yeah.
Right? And nobody's ever gotten a colored belt down here. Nobody's ever gotten rank because they came to class. That's not what I'm saying. But the stripes themselves are very much based around attendance. At a base minimum,
Yep.
if you want to get this stripe, you have to give me this many hours.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's it's really helped us.
I think so.
Because I think it's why a lot of people come as much as they do.
Yeah.
So, hey, before we go on, though, because Rob gave me this Voodoo Ranger Tropic Force, I have to use the restroom real
Oh,
quick.
thank God. Thank God.
So we'll be right back. Hey, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. That was a quick hour. So we'll try to get through the next. What other questions do you have?
Oh, I got a few.
Pick my brain, dude.
All right, let's see. Let me
Okay.
go back to my questions.
'Kay.
Okay, I asked about the gauntlets. Oh, that's a good one. Hang on. I asked about the competitions for stripes. I got 2 that are pretty good. Stupid one.
Yep.
Kind of lame. But thoughts on cauliflower ear? Gross, cool, or completely unnecessary? Because I just recently, I don't like it. I think it's unnecessary.
Yep. So my opinion has changed.
Okay.
When I first started, I thought it was like the coolest thing. It was a badge of honor. Like I would watch like the old pride fights and see these guys with these just blown up ears, and it's just like, wow, they've been through hell and back, right? But it goes against everything that I believe now.
Yeah.
It really does. I believe wholeheartedly, because of a good friend of ours, Pedro Sauer. I'm going to name drop.
Yep. Who was amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
So I believe wholeheartedly that you can enjoy and become good, if not great, at jiu-jitsu, and not have cauliflower ear.
Because I can't say with 100% certainty, but does he have any?
No, he's good.
Yeah.
He's normal.
And he will fuck everybody up.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I don't care if you have it.
Yep.
That's great. Good for you. You've been through some shit.
Yeah.
Great. I don't believe you should chase it. I don't believe that cauliflower ear is what it is today as it was yesteryear. I really don't believe it. Like, I think if I can tell you this much, if I had cauliflower ear, I'd be pissed.
Yeah. I like my earbuds.
I like them. And my ears are huge, dude. If I had cauliflower ear, holy cow.
They look like satellites.
Oh my God. I would be mad if I had it. But there was a time that I was like, bro, like, what do we need to do to get this? And I was
Really?
like, that's so stupid.
There were parts of you that were like, if it happens, it happens. Cool.
Yeah. And now it's like, dude, watch my ears. What are you doing? Like, I want no part of it.
Yeah.
None.
Like, I never in my life want to fight a triangle enough to where I feel like I have to pull my head out of it.
No. What that shows is that you didn't see the triangle was coming,
Yeah.
and you were too dumb to tap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So learn better high guard defense or be smart enough to tap.
Yeah.
It literally goes against everything that we just talked about hating.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So I'm not a fan, dude.
Is it more prevalent in MMA gyms, or is it
Yeah,
as
because
prevalent in just strictly BJJ ones?
no, I think it's more prevalent now. 20 years ago, the answer would have been different. I think it's more prevalent now in MMA gyms because they train a different level. They train harder. Nobody can submit me. I'm not going to give up. I'll never tap. I'm going to die before I tap. And
Sure.
it's like, good for you. Good for you. Smart.
Is it more fighting off submissions, you think, or is it people getting clocked in the ears?
Probably a little both.
A little both.
Or a lot of both.
Because we've been at it for years.
Yeah.
And again, I maybe have like
I have a
one-
little bit at the top, right up, like literally.
Yeah.
You could confuse it with a zit like inside my.
Yeah. But I can't remember the time where it happened, and I don't know if it's people getting clocked in the ears
Yeah.
or if it's people trying to fight off submissions that are just ripping
I
the
think
ears
you're
off.
going to get it more from people fighting off submissions.
Think so?
And down here, we're, in a regular jiu-jitsu setting, you're typically okay accepting the submission when it happens.
Yeah.
In an MMA setting, if you tap, you've died.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's another one of those differences that we were talking about before is that they're not. We've all had, we've talked about this a lot too, where we have those people that just refuse to tap.
Horrible.
It sucks in jiu-jitsu. It's all in MMA.
Yeah.
You get that all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm too tough to tap.
Yep.
It's like, good for you, dude. Get cauliflower. Good for you. Again, I'm not judging anybody with cauliflower. I don't care if you have it. I would be mad if I had it.
Yep.
I'm not going to do anything to avoid it, with the exception of tapping early, because I want to train tomorrow and not have my neck feel like it's hurt, or not have my ears feel like they've been ripped off. So that's just my opinion on it.
Ooh, I got not a different opinion, but how dare you give someone let's say someone throws a triangle on me and I just fight fucking tooth and nail and I rip my fucking ears off and my ears are all swollen. How dare you not give them the rep to finish it?
Right.
And instead instill doubt in their triangle when it's all repetition based.
It's all repetition
That's all it
based.
is. That's all you
That's
need.
your training partner.
I can't remember what I was wrong with. Was it you that I was wrong with today? Well, you had to get the rep in. Or no.
Oh, Thursday or Tuesday.
Well, and I say it with you, but I was just with someone today, and I was like, get the rep in.
Yeah,
You
right.
have to get the rep in.
Right.
Like, to actually get the technique.
Yep.
I don't want to instill doubt or
Right.
disbelief in a technique for
Right.
someone because I'm afraid of being tapped.
Right.
Like, that's a terrible
It's
way to
so dumb. It's so dumb. But it runs rampant in that particular style of training.
go. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yep.
You should not feel as if you could be hurt or caught or ever put into a position to where you could lose. As an MMA fighter, you have to have your single most powerful tool is your belief in yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's been greats that have done it without. Like George St. Pierre was scared to death every time he fought. He's one of the best welterweights ever. And he'll tell you before he walked out that he was scared to death before every fight. So there's there's pockets of greatness that believed something differently. But what we're talking about specifically is the amateur MMA scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the scene that I get it. I understand. The thing that cracks me up is the fact that we have, and it's much smaller now than it was 10 years ago, which is why we ultimately switched gears and went to traditional jiu-jitsu. But what cracks me up the most is you have people that think that they're actually going to do something with it on an amateur level. You have these people that work 40, 50, 60 hours a week,
Yep.
and they're going to go fight because that's going to get them out of having to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Or they do it just because they like to compete. I get that a lot. Well, I just like to fight, I like to compete. That's who I am. Good for you, dude. Go fight, go compete. Is it worth the risk? Because that show is not insured.
Yeah.
Is it worth the risk? What happens if you break your knee? You can't identify a heel hook. What if they blow your knee out, dude?
Yeah. Or they don't give a shit.
They don't give a
Not that
shit.
You didn't identify it, but
And they blow it out
instead
for the ref before you could tap him before the ref can stop it. It's not worth it.
So you asked me if I ever get the itch to compete again. That's one of the biggest things that, like, I've got a family of, with my wife included, I've got. Whoa,
You see that? You see that? There we go.
I've
Go ahead.
got 5 people that are dependent on me.
Sure.
And I
Sure.
I can't run that risk. As much as I miss it, and I wonder how I stack up against people that are in my same rank.
Sure.
I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a cop out. I don't know. But I just,
My competition's down here.
and it's not even a competition. It's all growth. It's all growth.
But it allows me to experiment, explore, judge myself, hold myself accountable. So that's the closest I'm going to get to competition because that's all I need.
And completely unthreatened.
Yep.
Like, you don't have to worry about someone taking your fucking leg home.
Nope. Every time I hurt myself, it's typically because I'm putting myself into a position to try something, or I'm with somebody that has no clue what they're doing,
Yep.
and I'm just gonna hang on until they let go.
Yeah.
Like once they realize that squeezing my head like this isn't gonna work, they'll let go. But yeah, almost 90% of the time, if I do get something that's tweaked or that hurts, I know why,
Yeah.
and I'm still able to go to work. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Work's important, kind of.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. What else you got?
Oof. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me go through the
Okay.
small list. What was the other one? Here's a good one.
Okay.
Have you ever felt imposter syndrome?
Yes.
And if so, how bad, and what did you do to mitigate it?
I did not feel it at Purple.
Really? Well, you were 10 years old.
That's why.
Yeah.
So I was a 10-year blue belt by the time I got my purple belt. I got my purple belt and I felt like, yeah, I'm home. Like I feel like a purple belt.
Right.
But my purple to brown was pretty fast. It was a year and a half, 2 years.
Compared to 10 years.
Compared
for
to
sure.
10 years.
For sure.
It was pretty quick. So when I got to brown, when you get to brown, you're going to have it's a whirlwind of emotions.
Sure.
Because you get to brown and you know that your next rank is the rank, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to have imposter syndrome, and if you've had it at other ranks, it's different. But when you get to brown and you have it, the reason that it hits you so hard is because the next belt is black.
Yeah.
So I went 10 years at blue, a year and a half, 2 years at purple, and then went brown. And I got brown and came back here, and it was like, oh, snap. Like everybody knows my next rank is black.
Yep.
And the imposter syndrome kicks in because you're like, there's no way I'm a black belt. There's no way. I'm still not 100% sure how to pass guard, right? So you're like, whoa, I want to go back to being a purple belt. Purple belt was my favorite.
Was it?
Yeah. I barely remember blue. I mean, I barely remember
Really?
getting blue. I remember how it happened, but I barely remember getting it. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I spent so much time there that it was just kind of like, blue's cool.
Yeah.
But I got purple, and it was like, ooh, that's like a bright blue. That's pretty. And I'm colorblind, so that doesn't help. But then when I got brown, it's an ugly belt, and it's so close to your ultimate goal.
Yep.
So that's when my imposter syndrome kicked in, and that's when I felt it the most.
Really?
And so my goal then, because 6 months into brown, I was like, we gotta get off of this. I gotta get away from this brown belt because if I'm gonna have imposter syndrome, I'm going to have it if I have it at brown, I'm going to have it at black.
For sure.
So let's get black and grow into it. So I wanted to get away from brown as fast as possible.
Because the whole thing was a blur. How long were you a brown belt?
2 years.
2 years. It's pretty quick.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
So 2 years of purple, 2 years of brown. And then I was trying to make up for lost time at blue. And there was a lot of stuff, obviously, that happened during my brown belt part of my journey. That
Maybe $5.
No, not a big deal. But there was a lot of stuff that happened during that slowed it down or
Sure.
made me take a step back. So brown belt was my hardest belt
Okay.
because of all of those events that happened. So I thought that I was going to have imposter syndrome at black, and I didn't. But I had it at brown. When I got to black, it was like, oh, all right.
Tough thing to bring up here.
Yeah.
Is it because he passed while you were a brown?
Brown. I was 2 stripe.
So is it because you didn't have your mentor and the guy
Yeah.
in your life to go, hey, you're ready for this?
Right.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So
It's like all of a sudden the training wheels were gone,
they were gone.
so to speak.
Yeah. So when Keith passed, it was so the funny part about it was the day before he passed, it was, hey, by the way, I am ready for my next stripe. And we were in Brazil, and he was like, dude, I'm gonna have Professor Sauer give you the stripe. And I'm like, sounds good. I wanted you to know that I'm ready for it. And that's how that would work, is we would let him know as far as time and grade goes, especially for us affiliate school owners. So it was like, hey, just so you know, I'm due for a stripe. And he goes, I'm going to have Professor Sauer do it since we're here, we're in Brazil, we're at his home.
How awesome.
And it was like, yeah, let's do it. And then he passed. And it was like, ugh. So like my path to black, it was already drawn out.
Yeah.
I knew exactly how and when. And then he passed, and all of Team Rhino had no leader.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know what this means for any of us. The only thing that has held the school together is gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what this means now. So to get through that and figure out that Professor Sauer had our back, and to figure out that he was going to be the one to lead the charge until Team Rhino was ready to stand on its own again. But we didn't know that for months.
Yeah.
It's like 6 months. It's like, what is going on, and what does this mean? You know, we didn't know how testings were going to work. We did none of it. And we got through it. And I would have loved nothing more than to get my black belt tied around my waist by Keith Owen.
Yeah, for sure.
That was my goal. That was my plan. It was your goal. It was your plan. I would have loved it.
Yep.
If that can't happen, to have his instructor tie my black belts around my waist, that's the second best thing.
Yeah.
Right? And to be able to have him here and host him for seminars and to be able to spend time with him in Brazil, it's just phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
It really is. And I am so fortunate and lucky. We were all fortunate and lucky to have him as a friend, as a peer, as an instructor. But to be able to have the relationship that I have with him is just, dude, I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm luckier than I should be.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
For sure.
So, good question.
Yeah, it was weird because, like, there was a path there.
Yeah.
And you saw it. Like,
Yeah.
everything was laid out, and then all of a sudden,
Gone.
an avalanche happened, or a mudslide, or a tree
Yeah.
fell on the path, and everything was just
Gone.
fucked.
Yeah. I can go on for hours about my journey.
For sure.
Right, because it was such a long one,
Yep.
and there were so many speed bumps and hiccups, and there were so many things that I would have loved to have done different, but now I wouldn't have changed. There's one huge thing I would have changed, right? Keith would still be with us,
Yeah.
but with his passing, what it taught me was to appreciate everything.
Yeah.
You know, to appreciate the time that I got to spend with him, appreciate the time I got to spend with him in Brazil.
Yeah.
In Brazil, at his instructor's house.
Yeah.
Dude, like, that's priceless to me.
Yeah.
So I often tell people it was the best vacation and the worst vacation
Absolutely.
at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew you were going to bring this up, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Oh,
If you would have brought it up 2 years ago, I don't know if I would have got through it. So I'm glad you waited.
Not on the phone. Not
that was
something
that was organic.
Yeah, totally
okay,
organic.
I'll
Yep.
take it.
Yep. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
I never got to roll with the guy.
Yeah, he's
I
a
wish
monster,
I
dude.
would've.
He was a monster.
Yeah. such a sweet fucking guy.
He
too.
was the best.
Yeah.
He literally was just a great example of jiu-jitsu, a great mentor. He was always there for me, and every opportunity that he got to crush me
It's so
and
weird because,
destroy me, he would.
like, like I didn't know him nearly as well as you did, as we all know. But he was like, you could look at him, you're like, oh, he's a bad motherfucker. But at the same time, you could sense a sense of humbleness from
A
him.
gentleness to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That he
My bum. Like,
yes.
you can't
my
say bum.
I think it's an
and-
Idaho thing. I don't know.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I think it's yeah. It's like what? The what he had was what I want.
Yeah.
And that is super sharp big man jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, for sure.
but it's unassuming. Because if you talked to him and didn't know he was in jiu-jitsu, you would not know he was a killer.
No.
You just knew he's a big dude. And he's eloquent and he spoke really well and he was so personable and easy to talk to that you didn't realize he was a murderer. Like he could have
Absolute killer.
killed you. And that's that literally from the very first time that we had him up, that's what I've always strived for was that. And that's what made him so awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and any of his students know that, and any of the students that trained with him knew that. All of his black belts knew that. He was just he's a diamond in the rough, dude. He's a bad dude. So
Rest in peace, my guy.
yes, sir. He was awesome.
Totally awesome.
So give me your fondest jiu-jitsu memory.
Oh shit.
Give me the one thing that, like, if at your funeral, everybody that knew you were in jiu-jitsu, but they needed one picture to sum up what jiu-jitsu was. Give me that.
I don't know if I have a fondest memory, honestly. Unfortunately, the memory that sticks out in my head the most, and you probably won't guess this, is the one I already brought up. It's the time Dustin caught a sub on me, and I was mad about it. Like, I always revert to that.
Yeah.
I always revert to that because I really can't give you a good reason. Like, that sticks in my brain so much because, first of all, I don't want to go back to that. But I always look at that like, if I can make it past that, if I can make it past that frustration, then the black belt down the pipeline is so attainable.
You're right.
Like, if I didn't lose the drive then, I'm not going to lose it now.
Right. There's nothing's going to compare to what that felt like that day.
Yeah.
I remember that day vividly. But if you can overlook the heart crushing defeat that was that day and get through that, then you're gonna be good.
I was ready to quit.
Yeah,
I was
know.
that day.
I remember.
Was ready to be done.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? Fuck this place. Fuck all of you.
Yeah.
I was ready to be done. If I can get past that one memory right there is what keeps me going forward.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because I don't have to deal with that ever again.
No.
If I can make it through that day, if I can make it through that gauntlet per se of just getting my fucking ass beat, then coming here on a Saturday or coming here on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday and lightly getting fucked up.
Yeah. Even having a bad day.
Or just having a bad day. Like nothing
meh.
is going to compare to that.
Yeah.
So that is the memory that gets me through all of this.
Good. That's the power of jiu-jitsu, dude.
It really is.
So what's your biggest pet peeve?
Oof. My biggest pet peeve. Man, there are a lot. Well, we talked about it and I didn't know it was going to be a pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve is, man, we'll just go through a list. First biggest one is if I invite you down here and we're actually friends and you come down and you're like, oh, fuck yeah, this is awesome, I want to keep going, and you stop going. I didn't realize that our friendship could be in jeopardy because of that.
Right.
Like, had no idea.
Yeah.
And this is a recent turn of events here.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
I didn't realize that, like, oh shit, I'm sharing something that's deep within my soul. Like,
Yeah.
it's ingrained in me. Like,
Yeah.
it's part of me. Like, you can't pull this out of Rob anymore.
Right.
And for me to share that with you, and then if you piss on it, they go, fuck you.
Right. It
Like,
changes who they are in
it
your
really
eyes.
does.
Yeah.
And I, it's a fault. I really
Yeah.
feel like it's a genuine fault.
Yeah.
Like, it's how many people have we seen come and grow?
Thousands.
Thousands. And it's not fair for me to go, hey, asshole, you should stick with this, because I've seen thousands of people go
Right.
and just, this isn't for me.
Right.
Slap hands. Totally get it.
But those are all random strangers.
Sure. So when I bring a friend down here
Yeah.
and you go, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I love it. And then, like, you miss the next 3 classes. I go, hey, asshole.
Right.
I've shared something that's very deep and passionate within
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
And for you to shit on it, I go, you're an asshole.
You're an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. Other pet peeves. And I mean no ill will towards you, and you know who you are. I love you to death. But other pet peeves. Man, the belt chasers. Those are pet peeves. When you say you want to go for, I'm ready for my next stripe, I'm ready to go for this, I'm ready to go for blue, but you haven't been here?
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Come down here, put the work in. Me and my purple belt partner, I mean, when it was time to put in work, we were here, I don't know, I don't even remember how many days it was a week. We put in the work.
Yeah.
Just the other day, him and I'm 300 and, how many was it, 340 hours, 39 hours away.
Right.
We're already putting together our brown belt test.
Right.
Put in the fucking work.
Right.
Like, I understand this is a club, but it's a club for the long run. Like,
Right.
we're doing this because it's better for everyone, and to be a man, you need this.
Yeah.
And when you're like, I'm good,
Yeah.
you're an asshole.
I'm good. You mean you're more of a man than me without it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it, dude. I totally understand.
I'll kill you.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah. I mean, then you have a small pet peeves of the hygiene.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
you stink. You're an
Right.
asshole.
Right.
That's a pet peeve.
Wash your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your pet peeves?
I have more than I care to admit, dude.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot that surprisingly I'm able to overlook.
Well, you go back to the old days, the MMA days, and like, if I say dirty socks, you
Right,
and I both
right.
know, like, it's that shit.
Yeah, a name pops into your
Yeah.
head. Yeah.
I can't even remember his name, but I
Yeah.
go, oh, you're a dirty motherfucker.
You're a nasty bitch, yeah. I have a lot of the same ones. Attendance and dedication, they're not a pet peeve of mine anymore.
Okay.
So they should be. They should be very dependent on how successful the school is.
Right.
They're not, though. So about, I don't know, mid-purple belt level, as a school owner, I quit caring about how many people came to class.
Okay.
Did not care, because I could find happiness in 4 people or 30 people.
Okay.
Quite frankly, I prefer 4, because I can change 4 people's day.
Yeah.
4 people could be having the worst day, and I'm going to give you some gold.
Right.
I'm going to give you some gold nuggets that you're just going to be like, whoa, that changed. That could very well change my jiu-jitsu, right? 30 people, we could have a good class. It's packed, it's light, and it always feels good, and the energy's high, and that's fun. But I quit caring, right? Because I don't have to have a lot of students to pay my overhead.
Right.
That's where I set differently, because I work a day job.
Yeah.
So the size of classes, where it used to be a pet peeve. The pet peeve, I share the same pet peeve, and I love it, but I don't come. I don't understand how that connects. I don't understand how you can love something so much and not do it.
Right.
Right. Another pet peeve used to be like the excuses.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of excuses that work.
Yeah.
The rest of them are all bullshit.
Yep.
So why that used to be a pet peeve, it's not anymore. Because now it's like, listen, you're paying me for a service.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not paying you. If I'm paying you for a service and you don't show up, then I'm mad.
Yeah.
But I'm paying you, you're paying me for a service. So like, my job of this transaction is for me to be here.
Yeah.
Not your job. If you want to pay me and not show up, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the money, right? And we have people that do that, whatever. But that's on you. I have pet peeves obviously in hygiene. I have pet peeves that there are certain people that I ran across in the recent years of jiu-jitsu that feel that there's how can I put this? Because there's like 3 different things that I want to hit here. You have some that feel that their voice is warranted, and that's a separate nugget. Mm-hmm. And then you have some that feel like I owe them something.
Like you personally owe them
Yep.
something? Okay.
Or the gym owes them something. And then you have some that take it for granted. Okay.
Sure.
And sometimes the second and third and I'll get blend together. Right. So the first one, you have people that sometimes feel that their voice is warranted, wanted, or needed.
Which I worry that I do that occasionally.
I don't think you do.
No?
No, because this would be a perfect time to bring it up. But no, not so much. And we've had those in the past that feel the need to talk or have an opinion while I'm teaching. And I think a lot of that, first of all, let me clear the air, a lot of that's went away.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like compared to 2 years ago, dude, it's not even the same.
Yeah.
But we've had that where people are like, oh, I need to say something here so people think that I know what I'm talking about. What those people may not have realized at that point in time was that people were paying me, not them, right?
Yep.
And that it's disruptive.
Yeah.
A lot of that has gone away through some coaching, through
Yep.
some very healthy adult-like talks. A lot of that's gone away, and that person or those people are way better because of it.
Yeah.
Way better. Some of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Truly. Now you get the second bucket where they either feel like that I owe them something, like it's a gift that they're here.
Yeah.
Let me get one thing clear. The gift that they're here, that's never happened.
Yeah.
I want everybody here. And I will take 10 people non-athletically with a mild work ethic versus somebody who feels like I need them. You know what I mean? But going back to what I was saying, there's nobody down here that's ever been a gift in the sense that like I feel like I owe them for coming.
Yeah.
Right. The fact of the matter is it's transactional. You're paying me for knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that transactional relationship is completely dependent on the person. Right. I have people that have claimed that I have favorites. I have people that claim that I play favoritism. Going back to the curriculum, that stops that,
Yeah, for sure.
right? On top of that, if you're willing to travel the world with me, if you're willing to go to seminars with me, if you're willing to literally disrupt your life in the name of jiu-jitsu, I'm probably going to lean toward you a little more.
There are two people that pop in my head, and one of them's not me.
Right.
Like, there are two people that I can think of right now that have traveled all over the place with
All over the place.
Makes sense.
With very little convincing,
Yep.
right? So if you're one of those people,
Makes sense.
it makes sense. Okay. So, and those are the people that I'm like, oh, I really don't want to lose them.
Yeah.
I have spent months with them in hotel rooms
Yep.
and all over the place in the name of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have those people that for somehow they sometimes they either pretend or imply that somehow I need them here. I don't need it. So what we have seen in the last 12 years since you've been here is that nobody makes or breaks it.
Yeah.
Right? We don't care.
Nope.
Like while we want everybody to train and we want everybody to believe in what we believe and we want everybody to be as passionate about it as we are, we don't care.
Yeah.
If you quit, I'm not going to beg you. So I told you back like when I was a purple belt that that care went away. That's when I stopped texting people. Why aren't you coming to class? Is everything okay? Hope your wrist doesn't hurt. I don't care. Because if you don't love this as much as I do, I'm not going to beg you to love it as much as I do.
Hey, my so-and-so, my kid's sick. He's really not feeling good. Send. And then what we get back?
Right.
LOL. Okay.
Yeah. You send me anything and I'm like, cool.
Yep.
I don't care. While I appreciate people letting me know, I don't care.
There's one person here that has the best approach, and I'm going to adopt that approach. If they're not going to be here, just don't fucking text.
Not a word.
Doesn't fucking matter.
That's Justin Powell.
That sure is.
Does not care.
Because
and
what
then if he'll come to the next class, and if you're not here, he'll blast you on the internet.
Yeah. Yep.
It's hilarious. Doesn't care.
That's so funny because when you have someone that texts you 3 pages of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog died, and then my car got a flat tire, and then I had to get called in for work that day. You're fucking lying.
You're lying about all of it. Don't care.
You just don't want to go.
You could have just said, I am tired and I want to sit on the couch. Sit on the couch, dude. I don't care.
At least then you go, I get it.
I get it. I can't wait to get to the couch after this. Like, I understand.
Yeah. Yours is 60 feet away.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I understand. So So pet peeves, while I have a lot of them, I have to overlook a lot of them.
Sure.
And the way that I approach the student body, the way that I approach friends that train, the way that I approach all of it is I will give everything. I'll give the same amount that you give me.
Yeah.
Okay. So if your attendance is awesome, if you've traveled the world, if you've traveled the United States, if you've went to seminars with me, and going back to that, if your attendance is great, if you're an awesome learner, which is a hard thing for adults sometimes, but if you're an awesome learner while in class and you help while in class, I'm going to give you everything I have.
Yeah.
I literally will sacrifice my own neck, limbs, and joints for your success. I'll give you all of it. On the flip side, if you paint the picture that you don't need me, maybe you're training multiple places, multiple arts, multiple. If you're doing that and like I'm 20% your instructor. So if I'm 100%, and this is a hot take, people are going to lose their shit over this. If I'm 100% your instructor, you get 100% of me.
Yeah.
And you have seen the impact of that.
You're talking to a guy that went to, I don't mean to name drop gyms,
Yeah.
but I went to Croyler
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
And you can tell a difference.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
So if you make me your 100% instructor, I'm going to give you 100% of me. I won't hold anything back.
Yep.
If you make me your 25% instructor, you get 25% of me.
Yeah.
That's just the way that it is. And a lot of people don't like that thought. They're like, well, I'm paying the same amount. Right, but you're only giving me 25% of you because your mind is 4 different places doing other things, right? And I'm okay with that because we're still 25% of what most places charge.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm good with it. But if you're one of those people that you're doing multiple things, and I'm only getting 25% of you while you're here, you're only going to get 25% of me. That's just the way that it is. And I'm not saying that to be mean.
There's one name that pops up in my brain when you say that, and he doesn't train here, but it was, hey, who has a drop in? Who's open for me to drop in this day?
Yeah.
And it's probably not. You might think of it, but it's not the glaring one that you're thinking of.
Right.
Hey, can I go hang out at your gym this day, or can I go train here?
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. And those people are 10%ers, right? They might train at 10 different gyms a year.
I will say you've turned this guy away.
I have. I know exactly what you're talking about. And if I'm going to be your 10% instructor, you don't need me.
So let's go.
Right.
Just so I'm not going to show the camera this. Hang on.
I 100% know who it is. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Decent people.
and for those people, I wish you the best.
Yeah.
100% I'm trying to cultivate a family of jiu-jitsu practitioners.
It's a loyalty thing.
It's a loyalty thing.
Yeah.
And people go, and I often have to keep myself in check. I'm a grown man that has a job. You're grown adults that have a job. I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But I can respond to how you do it.
Yeah.
So if you only need me for 25% of your training, then I'm going to give you 25%.
Yeah.
And that's not a dick move. I'm going to give everybody else that has me as 100% of my training.
Yeah.
That's just the way that it is. And I'll never change that. And it's not just human nature, but it's who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Should I not give you or somebody that's here 100% of the time, 100% of my effort versus somebody that maybe is doing 6 or 7 other things?
Yeah.
That's just the way that it is. There's no way around it. And I will help those who have made me, that rely on me 100% for their self-defense needs. Not only will I give them everything, I will help facilitate that.
Yeah.
I am going to hold your hand and spoon feed you because I want to see you get the best out of this.
Like I do with friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Scott Bush.
Yeah. We love you. Just keep your fucking ass coming down here.
But jiu-jitsu drives weird relationships.
It really does.
You know, and as much as I hate it just as much as everybody else sometimes, but I keep my eyes on the prize. Mm-hmm. I look at the collective.
Do you actually hate it though sometimes?
No, because I crave conflict. But I keep my eyes on the prize, and I know where my energy needs to be pushed.
Sure.
And I'll push my energy towards those who have put their trust in me. That's just what I do. That's how it's always been.
Yep.
Always been. Back in the MMA days, if I knew you had 3 other places that you were going, good for you. I barely learned your name.
Yeah, for sure.
I did not care.
Yep.
Like if you're going to be a part-timer or you have this going and this going and this going, sounds good. Make sure you pay when you get here.
Yep.
But
Hey,
if
go run 3 miles.
yeah,
and
go
come
run
back
3
and do
miles
burpees and
while I drink my coffee and wait. But if you put 100% of your self-defense needs into me, dude, I'm going to give you everything I have.
well, it was weird too because like when you did back in those days, and maybe I might be looking too deep into this. It was the people that were loyal to that. You knew we were gonna make it through, and the ones that weren't were gonna just fucking die.
For sure.
Yep.
And you took pride in killing them. And now it's like, when I watch people struggle now, it's a different struggle.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, you'll get through this.
We didn't have the encouragement back then.
No.
It was
No.
good luck. If
Yeah.
you make it through, you're gonna be a better person. Now
Yeah.
it's like, hey, push a little harder. You're gonna enjoy where you come out.
I promise. Yeah. Okay.
A little
Yeah.
not coddling per se, but
Right.
it was encouragement.
Yeah, we'll spoon feed you now.
Yeah,
It's
for
different.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
different.
I
It
like
comes
it.
with age.
I like where we're at now. It's a good place now. Do you have any other questions for me?
I've been asking them this whole time.
Okay.
We'll do a rapid fire.
Oh,
Okay, we'll end this with a rapid fire.
Uh-oh.
All right. And we'll see. Well, and you can't think.
Oof, I'm blank slate.
Okay. Favorite submission.
Oof, fuck. Triangle.
Nice.
Which shouldn't be because I throw far side arm bars all the time. but-
Right.
And I don't land triangles a lot.
Right. Favorite position.
Oof. Cross-side, top cross-side.
Top cross side. Nice.
Yeah.
Favorite belt so far.
Oh. Would I dare say blue? Because, again, I was there for so long. It was comfy. I was
get
very
it.
comfortable there.
Yeah.
How long was I a blue belt?
Quite a
How many times
while.
did I earn my blue belt under you?
Right.
I
Quite a
think
few
I'm on- I
times.
think I've got at least 3 of them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how I have 3 of them. At least 2.
At least 2.
Yeah. Yeah, blue for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've already asked you favorite jiu-jitsu memory. I already asked you pet peeves. I already asked you
My favorite partners.
your favorite. Yeah, I already asked you your favorite partner. What's next, dude? Like, where is this going for you? You sit in a very unique predicament.
But it's not, though.
Not unique to a couple others that you share it with, but unique in the sense that like your next testing is abroad, right? Like we have to. I can't test you for Brown.
Yep.
So we have to either have somebody come in or we have to go.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's the next 5 years look like?
The next 5 years?
Yeah.
Easily brown.
Okay.
But obviously end goal is black.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like black, and I'm sure this is going to sound corny, but you're there. Black belt's not the end.
No.
It's the start of it. Like, what is it? What percent at blue quit?
So less than 1% of one of the statistics that I heard was less than 1% of people that start actually end in black. So it's like, I don't know, it's like 40% of people that start make it to blue. 20% of those people make it to purple, 10% of those people make it to brown, less than 1% of those people. You're more likely to walk past a serial killer than you are a brown belt.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, which has probably happened at
Yeah.
one point in my life. But yeah, black belt's absolutely the end goal.
Yeah.
Like, no part of me questions whether I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
It's not if I'm going to get there. It's just when.
Yeah.
I just said it today. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there eventually.
Yeah.
So black belt is absolutely 100% the end goal.
And it took, after I got my black belt, so I got my black belt 429 of 23. And it took about 6 months for everything to change for me. Not to believe that I was a black belt, because I'm arrogant as fuck. Like when I got my black belt, I was like, I'm a black belt. I did it, right? But nothing changed.
Okay.
It was just now I was a black belt. I started to injure myself more. What changed was about 6 months later, it was like a curtain was unveiled.
Really?
It was like the film, the filter that all these women use on the internet was pulled off my face. And I started to see stuff that I had never seen before. Now that might have just been a hurdle that was coming anyways. But because coincidentally I got my black belt, it felt like it went together. And there were so many things that were happening and so many things that I was seeing that it was like, I can't even write this down fast enough. It was mind-blowing.
So do you think it's, because we've talked about this before, is like there's a respect among ranks. So like if I go against a brown belt, like automatically before I start the match or whatever round,
Yep.
you know, buckle up because this guy knows his shit.
Right.
So when you got your black, did that open up opportunities that weren't there before? Like, oh shit, he's a black belt, and then like things started to click into place because people were like, oh, better not do this, he's a black, and then like you capitalize on it, and then all repetition based. Like,
Yeah.
is that what happened? Do you think?
I think so. I think that, well, I mean, we're talking about a student body that a majority of them have been with me since purple.
Yeah.
So, only a handful have been, actually the majority probably since brown, maybe, I don't know. I can't check the numbers, but I would say so. I would say that there's maybe a level of unneeded respect at black to where people are like, oh, he's a black belt, this is going to work, so I might as well just give up, right? So with that mentality topped with now a clear way of thinking, it's allowing me to do things that I may have struggled with before that are now working, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, dude, 6 months after my black belt, it was like I was seeing jiu-jitsu in a whole different lens.
It's like the Matrix thing.
Dude. It was no longer green letters. I was able to see the lady in the red dress.
And it's weird too, because like you and I rolled. God,
You can't even put a number.
can't
on
even
it.
put a number on it.
No.
Thousands of times. You
Thousands.
and I rolled together.
Yeah.
And there's a substantial difference between when you got your black belt.
Yeah.
Like, and because I don't want to say I'm not a believer of it, because I am. I'm sure I've fallen victim of, oh, this guy's a higher rank than me.
Right.
He's going to fuck me up. So
Right.
just be prepared. And I've already mentally defeated myself.
Yeah.
But like, I've been with you from the blue to purple to brown to
From
black.
one stripe blue, you've been here with
Sure.
me.
And so there's a substantial difference from how you've rolled prior to your black belt to
Right.
now. And it's weird that like, I go, this motherfucker, did he know this the whole time and just didn't want to show me this years ago? Like, the game you've developed since then is so insane.
Yeah. It's nuts, dude.
Yeah. I hope I can get there one day.
You
I
will.
get there.
You will. Yeah. You're not. I mean, if you haven't quit yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Hopefully I don't quit tomorrow. We'll see.
This could be it.
Yeah. Oh, there's a camera there. I
Shit.
forgot.
Son of a bitch. Hey. So, any closing words? I appreciate you coming, dude.
No, I just the people that are going. I hope to God you keep going.
Yeah.
I like the family that we got down here. I would quite literally take a bullet for 95% of you.
Yeah. The other 5%.
Good luck.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's by far my favorite thing. It's changed me as a person.
Yeah.
Remember me before?
Dude, it's made you a man.
Ooh,
Like,
it's
not
so-
even joking, like, not even trying to be funny. Like, it's made you a man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish more. Maybe I don't wish more people would do it because it's like a well-kept secret.
Right.
but-
Right. There's a reason I don't advertise.
Well, yeah,
I'm very limited on who I let through these doors.
and you can't talk to people about it
No.
because you're a loser if you talk
Right.
about. Sorry, some of you new people that like to talk about jiu-jitsu, don't do it because it makes you a loser.
Yeah.
Let
At
people figure
least
it out.
get some sort of rank before you do it. Don't be
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah. You know who you are. I love you. You'll learn once you get your blue. You'll go, I should probably shut the fuck up because I'm okay, but I'm not great.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to do some rolling. But
Oh,
I just
perfect.
wanted to, I wanted to get you on here so people could hear your story and we can converse because we do this a lot, you
Yeah.
and I.
Yeah.
So we might as well put it on YouTube and
Yeah.
let everybody hear it. Hey, thanks everybody. I'll let you guys know who's next in the upcoming weeks, and let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
Thanks. Yeah, love you guys.